Hola Madridistas, welcome to the preview for match day 12 in La Liga. We really got to close the gap to Barca, down to 6 points against fifth place Osasuna, who are coming into this game with a lot of good high spirits. They haven't been a team half bad, man. They're in the top half of the table so already, and this is the same team that put four past Barcelona win at their home when we couldn't even put past one. So we're pretty much in crisis mode and the team looks out of sorts, but we have to somehow come out of this in a good way. So to break all of this down, I'm joined today by my usual preview partner Farouk. But before we get into the thick of things, this episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the pioneers in male grooming. So if you're in the market for a special gift for your dad or your friend or your partner this holiday season, head on over to manscaped.com and use code LBR20 for 20% off and free shipping. It'll really help out the channel. But yeah, man, Farooq, let's get started. Maybe just dropping off from the last preview because you actually predicted the right scoreline in the Milan game, although it wasn't the team that we expected that won, was it?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like it was, I don't know, man. It was quite sad and shambolic, honestly, because we felt that okay, this season our away form has been really patchy, but we always found a way to get it, done in the White House, with the supporters behind us, and unfortunately, we saw that we couldn't. This was a team that was struggling, in Italy, like they're still struggling in Italy. Of course, like there's a lot of question marks around Francesca, a lot of question marks around Leao, Tio, and all of a sudden, all of these guys are the ones who were at the forefront. Francesca was praised for his tactical acumen. Theo was phenomenal, and Leao literally had a hand in almost all the goals. So it's crazy, and I mean, at least I wasn't expecting this, honestly, because okay, yeah, I know Milan, decent team, it's historical giant and stuff like that. But I've seen Milan play a lot this year, and they, they don't inspire any confidence in you as a fan. And of course, yeah, then my phone had to blow up because all the AC Milan fans, started to gloat. And yeah, of course, because I call AC Milan the shitty team, and they're like, yeah, of course, now the shitty team is putting three past you in your house. So it's just quite sad. But again, this is just a thing. We can only focus so much on the last match. The target is the next match, and to get back on track. And there is no way to better go than it's one game at a time. Again, at the Bernabeu against the team, okay, who is in decent form, won the last 3 games. But when you look at the head-to-head record with us, we've won the last 4 games against Osasuna as well. But it's going to be a challenging game. But this is the thing: if this players still cannot find a way to overcome a team like Osasuna again at the Bernabeu, then I think even bigger questions need to start being asked.
Yeah, man. Speaking of being at home, was the Milan game like the first time in the season that you felt there were like whistles geared towards any particular player or a group of players? It was the first time I heard a chance against Mbappe and then Tchouaméni. Or did you think this actually came about against Barcelona as well?
I can't remember against Barcelona, honestly. I can't honestly remember. But against, yeah, I'm also in the same school of thought as you. I feel like that was, even if they were, I think that was the first one that we could hear on TV.
Yeah.
Even if there is a chant on, maybe there was that wasn't that loud, or, a steady section of the fans and stuff like that. But this was something that, I'm sorry, even a deaf man could hear. This is
Yeah.
that, it was something that was prominent. So it tells that people are asking questions now. People are starting to ask questions. People are starting to hold people responsible. And now, after this whistling, you come to think, okay, like the I think it was Relevo was the guy who was were the people who published the news about Orlean Chouameni being a potential market transfer in the summer. So when you consider this couple of games and what happened in the midweek as well, you kind of feel like, okay, maybe there is actually some credibility to that report, honestly. I mean, only time will tell, because again, this is Real Madrid. We've put Cristiano, we've put Ronaldo, we've put Zidane, and so on and so forth. Like Raúl González, Iker Casillas. So it's not like it's a new thing for Real Madrid fans. This is the bread and butter of our club. So I wouldn't read too much into this. But the problem will not be if this becomes a consistent, something that's continuous. Then we will start to question these players and their the love that the fans have for them.
Absolutely, man. So the thing with Relievo and all of these guys, they timed all of the breaking news in such a way that, it's slightly believable at the same time, like they don't have no source to back it up. That's pretty much the way these guys operate, and I think they just highlighted the frustration from the fans. We've been trying to expect a lot from Chouameni, especially this season. We've been expecting him to step up in terms of distribution of the ball, but he can't even get the basics right, like like his defensive aspects of the game, which he was so good at in previous seasons. So, and all of these questions it actually posed over to Carlo as well. Like I was really interested in seeing how he would tackle some of the questions in the press conference today, and then basically he came out and said that we may have a solution. It just have to put it into practice, and then hopefully everything goes well against Osasuna. Do you think he has something like a solution, or he's just bluffing to keep the fans at bay?
I mean, this is the thing we've seen. I mean, even the early weeks of the season, he said this that okay, like he's passing on information, either the players are not absorbing this information or he's not passing it across the right way. Basically, what he said after the Milan game can also be referred to that as well. So this begs the question: like after you're with these players for 4 years now, well, at 3.5 years or whatever it is, 3+ years after 3 seasons, with this team, you're in the fourth season. You're still telling me you find it difficulty to pass information across to these players. I mean, come on, bro, Jacob. Like, I mean, after 3 years in the company, man, like people are starting to think of you as, the head of a group, man, the head of a unit, man, like the director of, a group of people. Like, this is just the thing. Like, I mean, continuity is important, and this is the reason why continuity is important. But if Carlo is telling me that after three seasons, he's still unable to pass messages across to the players, like, I mean, there's a big question mark there, and everyone knows where I stand. It's the thing. Like, it's not like I'm standing and bashing at Carlo today. I said this even after we won the Champions League. I have
Yeah,
said that Carlo will face difficulty when these individuals are not performing, because right now the individuals are not performing. I don't think anyone can come here to me and beat their hand to the chest and tell me, oh, we had a tactical masterclass against these teams in the past year. No, we had Vini performing at the brilliant rate. We had Vinicius we had Bellingham doing his stuff, Rodrigo doing his stuff in the past. Karim Benzema was there. Like we've had individual moment of brilliance. Even players like Brian Diaz have had their own fair share of, brilliance. Oselo,
yeah,
these players have come up clutch time and time again. It's not about the fact that there was, how can I say, there was like a tactical plan. There wasn't anything there. There wasn't anything that we are seeing. Miguel Amorim with Sporting defeating City 4-1, man. Okay, yeah, City is depleted and all that, but still, man, a victory is a victory.
yeah, it is.
A victory is a victory. We're seeing Arne Slot comes into Liverpool, and all of a sudden, Liverpool are flying again. Okay, yeah, are they serious title contenders? Okay, maybe not, but you can see what they're trying to do. Hansi Flick comes in 6 months later, man. We're saying stuff. It's not even up to 6 months since Flick came on.
Yeah, from this first game, there's been major changes.
I mean, this is the thing. So, like, when you come and start telling that we have solutions, but we are not able to, pass the information across in the right way, or we are saying something, the players are understanding something different, bro. Like, Carlo is not a coach who is like, starting up. He's not like Alonso level kind of coach where you can say, okay, yeah, like, he's still learning the ropes and stuff like that. No,
Man,
this
but
is just
think
the
of
point.
this
And I
this way,
said,
right? Okay, so when asked about the system, he said, "This is not an offensive problem. We have a major defensive problem, and that's where we have found a solution." Uh, do you really agree with that? Do you think it's all down to the shitty defense that we have, that we don't play well?
I mean, what shitty defense is he talking about? The offense didn't score the goals, and what defense is he talking about? You play high line against Barcelona, you could not score. You were offside 8 times, 9 times. I think Mbappe was offside 8 times. Maybe combined, we're offside maybe 12 to 15 times in that game. You're trying to play, break by breaking that high line, and you're telling me you don't have an offensive problem. Of course, we have an offensive problem. Yeah, they will say like defense wins you titles and offense wins you matches and shit like that. True, that's valid. We wouldn't deny that. But of course, their defensive solidity is gone. However, the offensive output also is gone.
Absolutely.
I think we talked about this, if you remember, in the preview of the Milan game. We talked about addition by subtraction. You
Yep.
understand? I was mentioning the fact that I had read an article from the Athletic that was saying Real Madrid has scored exactly the same amount of goals at this point before the Milan game last season. However, we had considered, I think, was it 4 or 5 goals more?
Five
You
goals
understand?
extra. Yeah.
So the point is, exactly 5 goals extra. It was like, addition by subtraction. So before the season began, what we were told is that the club expects more output from the attackers and also less efficiency from the defenders. So it means you concede more goals, but you score more goals to outweigh that. But unfortunately, we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that. The players again are not clicking. It's all about playing Jude in different positions. And right now, Jude is looking, yeah, he's working hard, but he's doing this. But you're not buying Jude to be a man horse, man.
Yeah.
This is the thing. You're not buying Jude to be a man
Like
horse.
I even in seasons before, like someone like Valverde, man, like just having him just mask so many tactical issues in the midfield. Right now, the same way, the problem is that we're trying to have three players run around while one can potentially do it, and it's just not possible.
I mean, the point is, I'm saying this always, like you cannot talk about personal here. You know, like of course, like we know, like me and Carlo will have wanted different kind of players and shit like that, and etc. But the point is, like we have seen, teams win with different kind of setups, man.
Yeah,
Prime, of course, like okay, yeah, we know Liverpool had the fullbacks creating, but like let's not forget, Liverpool had a midfield of Gini Wijnaldum, Fabinho, and Jordan Henderson, and they won everything winnable in world football in the span of 18 months.
yeah,
You understand? So like, name me a more shitty midfield. So it's not like like we. My opinion, honestly, Carlo is just not the guy to fix us. Honestly, the players need to either find form or we are in deep shit, bro. Because this team is a team built of individuals. When we have that moment of magic from these individual players, we're gonna win games. But otherwise, as we've seen, I mean, I'm gonna say the last 3 games, or the last 4 games, rather, even because against Celta scored first, and then we scored 2 more goals to win the game.
mm-hmm.
Of course, against Borussia Dortmund, we know what happened. That's of course, like we came back, of course. But then Barcelona, nope. AC Milan, nope. So that's the thing. Like one day you'll be able to come back, one day you'll not be able to come back, unless your players are like in peak form. Then of course the comeback is always possible because your players are better than every player on the surface of the earth. Close. This is just the truth. Vini and Mbappe, Jude, was already on peak form. No one is better than them.
Absolutely, man. It's just worrying, like we are talking about this in almost every single preview and post match, and Carlo just doesn't seem to see it, man. He just blind or some. He just chooses to come out to the media in such a way that he seems like he has no clue, or we just have minor problems. But it's all over the pitch. We have no system, and he just refuses to see that.
That's true, man. It's quite. It's honestly, I feel like it's a shame with of course, like people will talk about the loss of Tony Kroos, but come on, I don't think the loss of Tony Kroos is why Rudiger is shit right now. It's not because the loss of Tony Kroos why Militao is shit right now. Honestly, I don't think it's the loss of Tony Kroos that makes Kylian Mbappe go offside or rather shoot at the goalkeeper every time he goes 1-on-1. It's not the loss of Tony Kroos. This is just a thing.
Yeah. So, do you think the international break coming up is just right here just to save us? These guys can have a moment of freshness. They can rediscover their forms, maybe score a couple of goals, and then come back to Madrid with confidence.
Yeah, I think it's a good distraction. Kylian Mbappe actually apparently he's not going to play for France. He's not been called up for the national team. But I think yeah, it comes at a very good moment because like we're literally in a rot. So like when you have that 2 weeks break from everything, you go back to your families or you go back to your national team. It's a different atmosphere, and then you come back with a different mindset, with a different mentality. At least you're taking a break from that rot. So that would be good. And of course, like having a good send off against Osasuna before the international break would even be better, honestly. Well, like, yeah, I wouldn't come here and say that, yeah, I'm too confident that we're going to go and, smash Osasuna, honestly.
Yeah, fifth place Osasuna. They're flying high off of the good form of the attackers, and they put him in with 5 goals
Yeah.
already. He used to be such a horrible finisher, man. Like he was just not the person who you can depend on to like finish off chances. But right now he's red on form, and then Brian Zaragoza, on loan from Bayern, he's absolutely tearing up the league. Where 5 assists. He's their whole attack basically, like their version of Vinicius basically. Uh, Everything follows through him, and if he can actually stop him, which is like a different question with Militao and Lucas Vasquez facing off against him, it's got to be a long night. So Farouk actually lost power over where he was staying at, so he's not going to be there for the rest of the pod, but we were close to being done anyways. So right after the ad break, we are going to talk about lineups and predictions. Take it away, Doris.
Hola Madridistas, I'm back once again to remind you if you're ever looking for a way to support us, please do so and go to manscaped.com, use our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. Check out these thick silicone bristles. They are 100% antibacterial, no more germs hiding on your head. The bristles gently exfoliate your scalp, and the product helps reduce flaking caused by dry skin and build up. One of the coolest features is that it helps stimulate blood flow to your hair follicles, and increased blood flow equals healthier hair. And trust me, I know I have a lot of it. Bristles also enhance shampoo penetration for more foam and less product. And with that, um, you can also pair the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner from Manscaped for the ultimate hair care routine. And this is a pretty big, sizable thing. And let's not forget the relaxing massage that it provides after a long day. Using this feels like a mini spa treatment. It's a great way to unwind while taking good care of your scalp. So yeah, go to manscaped.com, use our code LBR20 at checkout to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping.
And yeah, we're back. So to get to the lineups, we have to initially analyze Carlos' press conference. So the gist of the whole of last week was there was a lot of discussion around who should actually be dropped from this team. Uh, Mbappe and Xiaomini, but there were a lot of discussions on, hey, Arda should actually play a majority of the games because it's clear to see that we have trouble progressing the ball out of the play into the final third, and clearly Arda will solve all of our problems. And others were calling out for Mbappe to be dropped so that we can actually go back to where we were from last season and just play Jude at the top along with Rodrigo and Vinny, and just put our 200 million signing out for pasture. So these are things that are never going to happen, right? Especially out of the press conference, Carlo came out and said, my priority is basically not to play Arda Güler or Hendrik. It is actually to get the team back into shape and, solve our defense, because he doesn't see the offense as much of a big problem as the defense. So it makes sense for this lineup to be completely unchanged from the Milan game, except for the fact that Xiaomeni is out injured this time. So Camavinga is probably going to take his place. But I'm fully expecting Modric, Camavinga, Valverde to play in their weird double pivot, with Modric and Valverde playing a bit deeper, or Camavinga and Valverde playing a bit deeper. They're going to switch throughout the game. But it's not going to be a diamond or anything. It's just going to be a double pivot with two in front, just hoping to get the ball to the forwards. With the forwards, I don't see any change as well. Feel like it's still going to be 4 midfielders, unless they want to risk Rodrigo out for this and give him 90 minutes from the start. But I don't think it's going to last the whole 90, even if he does start. So tentatively, I'm going to say Rodrigo is going to be benched for this game as well, as he works his way back into fitness. Hopefully he doesn't travel over to Brazil for his international duty. He needs time to actually work off of the injury. And that just leaves us with our back line, which is going to be Lucas Vasquez, Militao, Rudiger, Mendy. I don't see Fran Garcia start this one as well, because we know we have to play Mendy until he gets into form, or we are in deep trouble for the rest of the season. And no Courtois yet. It's going to be until the international break to have him back. So yeah, it's going to be time for Lorin again to step up. He did a fine job against Milan. Let's just hope, hey, he can work on his distribution a bit so that we can play the ball out a bit better than we did against Milan. So yeah, there you go. And for the predictions, I am going to say this, we all predicted that the Milan game was going to be an opportunity for us to actually get a nice result, score some goals, pass them, because they did not look convincing. And this Osasuna team, they look far more convincing than Milan. They've been way more consistent. They haven't conceded a lot of goals, and it all will come down to the fact of, can we actually contain Brian Zaragoza and Ante Budimir? So it's all down to our defense. And if we are on top form, or at least we are in decent playing form, I believe we can walk out with a 2-1 win at least. Otherwise, if the trend has to continue from last week and we actually have to wait for the international break for the players to come back to their form, we can fully expect another 2-2 draw or a 1-1 Draw, man. It doesn't look good. I have absolutely no confidence in the team, but we gotta trust in Carlo and hope for the best. That's all we have at the moment. And yeah, folks, thanks for tuning in. All of you guys over the audio platforms. Sorry for not doing a live. It's just we've just been working around the schedule. That's been pretty tight, but we should be back in full force, back to our lives after the international break. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and check out all the links in the description below. So especially if you're on the lookout for a trimmer, a shampoo, or something else, please do consider buying from the link we have down in the description below. It'll really help out the channel and have us do this long term. There you go, folks, and until next time, Hala Madrid.